I'm Jamie Axelrod, Director of the Disability Resources Office at Northern Arizona University. I want to give you some information today about the differences between K-12 and a post-secondary or university environment for students with disabilities. First, let's talk a little bit about the different laws and how they impact the different environments. In a K-12 educational setting, school districts are required to follow the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. There is also a part of Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, which impacts K-12 districts as well. The most important thing to understand is that both the IDEA and Section 504 in a K-12 environment require that school districts provide students with disabilities a free, appropriate public education. In the post-secondary setting, or higher education, or here at the university, we're governed by the post-secondary sections of Section 504 and the Americans with Disabilities Act, as amended. That has a bit of a different focus. Those laws require that the university ensure students with disabilities are not subject to discrimination based on their disability. There are a couple of important differences in the processes you'll experience in a K-12 environment and a post-secondary environment. Under the IDEA, school districts are required to identify students who have disabilities when there is a concern brought to their attention. This is called child find. It means that the school district is required to evaluate students who they believe might have a disability, including assessing them and their skills and determining if they are qualified as a student with a disability. In the post-secondary setting, the responsibility becomes the student's. So in order to receive accommodations at the university, the student must first self-identify to the university by contacting the Disability Resources Office and letting us know that you're a student with a disability. This might require providing us information or documentation that confirms the existence of the disability and how it impacts you in an educational setting or in the other environments you'll experience on the college campus. Another significant difference at the post-secondary level is the student's role in the disability resources process. In a K-12 environment, most of the process is completed by the school district. The school identifies the student, and then they bring together a team of individuals that includes the student's parents, and a lot of times the student themselves, to help create an individualized education plan. That plan is shared very widely around the school with individuals who are going to be working with that student. That's a responsibility that's really taken on by the district, and they enforce that the student's accommodations or modifications are being provided. At the post-secondary level, it's much more student-driven. So, the student will work interactively with disability resources to determine what are appropriate accommodations. From that point forward, the student is in control of how and when they utilize those accommodations. The student will decide who they notify, which professors get information about their accommodations, in which classes they would like to use their accommodations, and even what accommodations they might want to use in what classes. So it's a lot more flexible process, and again, more in control of the student. There are also some differences between the types of accommodations or modifications you'll experience in a post-secondary setting as opposed to the K-12 setting. If you remember, I told you that IDEA and Section 504 as they apply through K-12 environment require that a school district provide you with a free, appropriate public education. And then in a post-secondary setting, the requirement is to ensure that you are not discriminated against because of a disability. So, in a K-12 setting, to ensure that outcome of a free, appropriate public education, a student may have been provided with accommodations or modifications that altered the curriculum or may have even changed the standard by which that student's work was judged. In a post-secondary setting, we will provide accommodations that ensure you have an equal opportunity to demonstrate that you have met the same standard as all of your peers in your courses and program with you. We'll also ensure that you have appropriate access to all the course content and other programming happening around the university. One thing that K-12 school districts sometimes do is provide students with their own devices or what might be considered personal services. A difference between K-12 and higher education or post-secondary settings is that in a post-secondary setting, the school, the university, would not be required to provide you with such individualized devices or personal services. If you have questions about what those might encompass, feel free to contact us, and we'd be happy to consult with you about that.